When extracting espresso, when should you stop a shot? You can time the shot, measure volume, observe flow color, and there's another method. Hey, espresso lovers, Marc here from Whole Latte Love. Today, an introduction to that other method, brew ratios. So last week I covered a basic technique for dialing in grind size. It'll help espresso beginners get a fairly good grind setting based on extraction timing and cup volume. If you missed that video, you can use a link up here to watch it. Today, I'll take the next step and weigh shots as they're brewing in order to hit a specific brew ratio. Now, some roasters may suggest a particular brew ratio for their coffees, but even if lacking a recommendation, you can adjust brew ratios to affect flavor and decide when to stop a shot. So, what is brew ratio? Well, it's very straightforward. It compares the weight of ground coffee dosed in your portafilter basket to the weight of espresso in your cup. So to use this method, you need an accurate gram scale to measure the weight of your coffee dose and your shot as it extracts. So let's take a look at some typical brew ratios. In general, a ristretto falls in a 1:1 to 1:2 range. A normal espresso is in the 1:2 to 1:3 range, and a lungo espresso is in the 1:3 to 1:4 range. As an example, a normal espresso made using 17 grams of coffee could range from 34 to 51 grams in your cup. Lower brew ratios tend to increase mouthfeel and work well with darker roasted, low-grown coffees with chocolate and caramel flavors. On the other hand, higher brew ratios tend to bring more clarity and flavor to higher altitude, lighter roasted coffees. They help bring out those lighter and brighter fruit and berry notes. In the end, it's about what you prefer, and the nice thing about doing it yourself, you can have it the way you want it. And when you use brew ratios, it's going to be very repeatable. So to get started manipulating brew ratios, you first need to have your grind dialed into a reasonable range. To get there, use shot timing and in-cup volume measurements. Again, if you're not familiar with that, use that link for my video on dialing in grind size. The quick version is to adjust to a grind size which produces a 2-ounce espresso from 17 grams of coffee in 25 seconds from first drip. Now, once you've got that set, it's easy. Dose your portafilter with 17 grams, level your coffee, and tamp. I'll be using Coffee Mio Ufficio. It's organically grown, and 90% of the blend consists of 5 distinct high-altitude Arabica beans. It's roasted in Australia and air-shipped to us here in the US, so it's always fresh. Now, I'm very familiar with this coffee, and I find I like it best at a brew ratio of 1 to 2.5. With my 17-gram dose, that equals a finished weight of about 42 grams. I'm pulling my shot on a plumbed-in Profitec Pro 700. Source water flows through a 5-stage BWT Bestmax premium filter. The Bestmax filter uses the patented ion exchange process, which replaces some of the calcium with magnesium. That maintains mineral levels for best flavor, but prevents scale buildup by reducing the calcium level. My brew temp is set to 199 degrees on the PID. I'm using a Hario V60 drip scale. I place my shot glass, tear the scale, and start my extraction. First drip starts at about 5 seconds. Now, with most digital scales like this one, there's a bit of lag with the weight reading, and flow is going to continue briefly after stopping the pump, adding to the weight. So I have to anticipate the weight a bit. To hit the 42 grams, I know from experience I need to stop the extraction when the scale shows about 39 grams. Now, while the shot was coming, I was keeping an eye on the flow rate and color. If it was abnormally fast or got excessively light in color, that would be an indication of channeling through the coffee puck, maybe due to a bad tamp and or bad distribution. But everything looked good with this one. Time was good, and I ended with a volume of about 2 ounces, including the crema. Now, tasting the shot, it had a rich mouthfeel I like, and the fruity citrus and berry flavors from the high-altitude Arabica beans were there without being too bright. All in all, a nice balanced shot that fit my preference for the coffee. Keep in mind, brew ratio is just one part of the espresso variable puzzle. It's easy to set a grind and dose that would produce a desired brew ratio with a flow that is much too fast or too slow. So you still need to keep an eye on things like extraction duration and flow color. If you have comments or questions about brew ratios or anything coffee, use those comments. I'll be sure and get you the answers. I'm Mark. Thanks for watching, and I hope you'll subscribe and come back soon for more of the best on everything coffee, brought to you by Whole Latte Love. Want to learn more? Subscribe now so you'll know about the latest videos on everything coffee from Whole Latte Love.